Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today I want to talk about and I think expand on a blurb that I saw Jeremy Fowler mention in a recent ESPN article where he had linked the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to a Cleveland Browns cornerback that a lot of folks I've seen in my comments section want the Buccaneers to trade for. So, recently there was an article posted a couple of days ago, proposed one deadline deal that would make sense for both sides. That's part of the article. Dan Graziano and Jeremy Fowler always do this article every week. Dan Graziano said Bryce Young to the New York Giants for a fourth round pick. Jeremy Fowler said Greg Newsome II to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a fifth round pick. Now, Fowler did go on to say that the Bucs are in the thick of the NFC South race. They have an offense that can score points without Mike Evans, and he's coming back soon. I do agree with that. Maybe not necessarily as much with in the thick of the NFC South race. Like, they are second, and they are, if anything, at least going to finish second this year. I would say more so they are in the thick of the wild card playoff race. They're still competing for a wild card spot. Okay. Now, Jeremy Fowler did say that Cleveland is open for business with several players, and Newsome should draw interest, according to Fowler. He did talk about a hang-up here, and we will discuss that in a moment, but one thing that was interesting to me is Fowler said, it's not the Bucs style to make splashy deadline moves, and that is accurate. We talked about that in a separate video. The Bucs don't make NFL trade deadline moves. They don't. The last time they did was in 2020 when they traded a sixth rounder for Stephen McClendon. Firstly, initially, the idea of getting a player like Greg Newsome for only a fifth round pick, I would do that in a heartbeat. Okay. I like Greg Newsome in the immediate sense. First, right off the bat, I like Greg Newsome as a player. And I've talked about how not one player is going to be able to come in and single-handedly rescue this defense. Okay, I still do believe that. But I do like Greg Newsome as a player. He's only started 3 games this year for the Browns. He's played in 8 games, and his stats so far in his young career, pretty decent for former first round pick. He's started 42 games. He's played in 49. He's got 2 interceptions, 1 pick six, 31 passes deflected, 14 last year. He's got 1 career sack. Well, I guess it's a half sack. 1 half sack in 2022, 1 half sack in 2023. 148 total tackles, 2 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for loss. He's a bit more of a coverage guy than, let's say, like a pure tackler. Right? One thing that is very interesting to me, though, is his coverage ability. You take a look, this year he's allowing a 61 completion percentage when targeted. Before that, 56.7 in 2023, 58% in 2022, 62.9 in 2021. Passer rating-wise, he is allowing a 116 quarterback rating when targeted this year, but before that, 74.8 in 2023, 84.6 in 2022. 85.6 in 2021. It's honestly not that bad. He was sent on a blitz 14 times last year in 2023, 9 times in 2022, 2 times in 2021, 5 times this year in 2024. That would probably increase with the Bucs. Todd Bowles loves blitzing just everybody. I think I saw a few of you guys out there who are watching this video on some blitzes in some moments. His missed tackling is not great. He's missed 5 tackles so far this year. 20% of his tackles have been missed. 16.9% last year, 10.6% in 2022, and 15.9% in 2021. So his tackling is a little bit concerning, not going to lie. His overall, let's say, run defense ability, he is far and away more of a coverage corner, okay? That is like Greg Newsome's game, okay? He's not necessarily the best run stopper. He's not even necessarily the best tackler, but it seems like he's very good in terms of his overall coverage skills. So I say all of that to say this. I do like Greg Newsome. I think that if you can help him improve and grow and cultivate as a tackler, and in terms of being more of a force, maybe as a blitzer and as a tackling cornerback, and help him be more complete, he's got the coverage skills already. He was a former number 26th overall pick in the 2021 NFL draft. That is not a light thing. So I do like Greg Newsome, and I would be happy to see the Buccaneers interested in the immediate sense. Okay, just to see what you can have for Greg Newsome, and he can be something long term, I think, for you as well. He is only 24 years old, and he will be 24 years old by the end of the season. Jeremy Fowler did mention the one hang-up is that the Cleveland Browns did pick up his fifth-year option, which is $13.37 million guaranteed for injury. And that's next year. This year, he's on $4 million. The Bucs can afford that, especially midway point through the season. You're probably only going to be paying him about half of that. But to be honest with you, the fifth-year option does not really bother me. Let me explain why. Number one, if you sign Greg Newsome and he finishes out the year well, you can extend him. You can move some money in that fifth-year option and kind of spread that cap hit out next year. We saw that Bucs do it recently here with Tristan Wirfs, okay? Number two, $13 million is honestly not crazy for today's cornerback market for good coverage cornerbacks at that. So it's not that crazy of an experiment in my opinion. And I think the Buccaneers will have money available. Number three, which is why I think they'll have money available, I do personally believe this will be Jamel Dean's last season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are going to need somebody to replace Jamel Dean. And yes, you have Zion McCollum, and he's fantastic. I love Zion McCollum. I hope that he's with the Buccaneers for a good long while. But you do have the chance here to have yet another solid cornerback duo, a solid young cornerback duo going forward with McCollum and with Greg Newsome the second, possibly. Very similar to what the Bucs had whenever Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean were playing towards the peak of their abilities. Okay, you can yet again replicate that. Jamel Dean is making $14 million this year. He's making $15 million next season and the season after. There is an out after this season. You can cut Jamel Dean and save $19 million on the cap there. Or I guess I should say I believe you could save 19 million. It's something along those lines. Maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's like around $9 million. But point being is that you can save a good chunk of change, be it 9 or 19. I know that's a big difference, guys. But point being is that let's just take the low, okay? Let's just take the low. Let's say you save $9 million from moving on from Jamel Dean. He'll be 29 next season. You already moved on from Carlton Davis. Jamel Dean has honestly not been great this year. He has not been, and he's been dealing with injuries once again. He is on the IR. I think the Buccaneers could move forward if you do make a trade for a Greg Newsome II. I think that's your Jamel Dean replacement, not just next season, but possibly even moving forward after that. And you can have a young, probably pretty decently paid cornerback duo of Zion McCollum and Greg Newsome II moving forward. And I think that would be a fine duo. I do. I am cautious and I am worried about the tackling ability of Greg Newsome, but I am not worried about the coverage ability of Greg Newsome, which I feel like the Bucs have been struggling with a little bit here in recent games. Okay? So this is a move I would 100% be on board with. You know, I'm probably going to title this video, I'm kind of shooting off the cuff here, like why the Buccaneers should trade for Greg Newsome II. I think there's a couple guys they should trade for with the Cleveland Browns, honestly. Zadarius Smith is in there. But I know a lot of Jordan Hicks. There's a couple guys I wish the Bucs would trade for, but I understand that if a lot of people think that the secondary is the biggest concern of the Bucs, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I still think it's the pass rush. But with Newsome, this is different than getting like a Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith is a guy that you're getting for like literally probably the rest of this season, then you're probably going to move on. This is more like along the veins of like an Azeez Ojulari from the New York Giants type of trade, which I don't necessarily think they're going to trade for him. But like this is also a perfect storm because like Newsome, his stock is down a little bit. He's shown some good stuff in the past. He's still incredibly young. And I think he can be a contributor for you for a good long while and not cost that much. Azeez Ojulari is probably going to cost a lot. He's like in the top 15 of sacks right now. I don't think it's going to cost that much for Greg Newsome II here. I really do believe that. So we're going to see, man. We're going to see. But it was an interesting note here from Jeremy Fowler. I wanted to expand upon it kind of give reasons why I think it would be a good trade. Also give some reasons why it might be a little bit cautious to make a move like that. But I'd love to get your guys' thoughts and opinions. Let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions about this down in the comments section below. Do you guys want to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers trade for Greg Newsome II, former Northwestern cornerback, by the way? He was a PFWA All-Rookie team in 2021, a second-team All-American in 2020, first-team All-Big Ten in 2020. He's got some accolades, former first-round pick. Why not take a swing with it for a fifth rounder if you guys are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.